Today in HYPIXEL SKYBLOck Ironman Profile, we are gonna be surviving 300 days and things are gonna take a crazy turn. And for the first time, we are gonna be fighting dragons in this episode. If you enjoy content like this and you want to see more, take a moment to drop a like and subscribe. Let's get this started. Starting out, of course, we gotta empty our minions, which also gave us an insane amount of levels to our silverfish pet. After that, we dropped our wolf pet into the cat upgrade and started out grinding out some farming. Now our goal with pumpkins is to get the rancher boots recipe to make farming a little bit smoother in the future. Now I decided to go ahead and buy another booster cookie and a god potion and kept on farming. On day 203, the time had come to grind out our Heart of the Mountain tiers. Now the reason why we want to do this is once we reach tier 3, we can actually enter Crystal Hollows. Now firstly, I wanted to make sure that we have a full goblin armor set to give us extra mining speed, and by the next day we already managed to get the full armor set, so that meant it was time to start doing some commissions. By day 205 we reached 7,500 ores mined, and this meant we got yet another rock pet, and we also reached taming level 20, which is pretty great because most of the pet upgrades actually require a high taming level. And well, getting to tier 3 seemed a lot easier initially, but going for 2 days straight I realized that my progress is only 62%, but at least we're leveling up our mining skill, which we got to level 21. We kept on going and I realized that it's time to use up our mithril powder on the skill tree, so we did that, and then I noticed that we can actually get the next talisman, which is the King Talisman. Anyways, by day 214 we reached the next commission milestone, which meant that we got another mining level up just like that, but not only that, but we also got a taming level. Now as it turns out, goblin armor isn't actually the best early game mining set, but instead it's the glassite armor. So it was time to start killing ice walkers and try to get that set pretty quickly, and we ended up getting extremely lucky because by day 216 we had gotten all the armor pieces, unlike with the goblin set where we got like 1 million chest plates and no boots, but anyways, back to mining we went. And well, on day 220 we're starting to get pretty close to tier 3 as we're only less than 15% away from it, and after doing mining for almost 20 days straight, which is equivalent to 6.5 hours, I decided to take a little break from mining and instead did some farming. And yes, this meant that we got another farming level up, which is finally at level 20. Anyhow, once that was done, back to mining of course we went, but this time I'm not spending another 20 days in the Dwarven Mines. Instead, by day 215 we headed back to our island, where we eventually got our grappling hook recipe that we can later use to get around faster and getting rest of the fairy souls. But now this is where things will get interesting. Firstly, we're going to buy ourselves a astronomical short bow because we want to be ready to kill dragons. Now this will be perfect because while we're trying to get summoning eyes, we can also try to leech some dragons if there's any spawned, and of course we'll be spawning our own dragons soon enough. However, for this we will also need to get our wolf pet, which is still in the cat for another 24 hours, but we can fix that issue instantly as we can get the cat flower to get the upgrade done immediately. So while we're going to pause with mining, we can drop our silverfish pet in there to turn it into legendary, and it's time to go with the epic wolf pet to grind some zealots. Now sadly, we're not in the stage of one-shotting them quite yet, but later I'll show you how we increased our damage by a lot. The next day, we already got our first summoning eye, but it got even better because the first dragon was spawned in that, we're fighting, and we finally got our bow with us. So we were dealing not that much damage, it's about 53,000 damage, but later we're gonna upgrade our bow. But for now, we got some free unstable fragments. But then yet another dragon was spawned, which this time was the old dragon, and this time we dealt 121 damage, or 121,000 damage, but only we got 3 old dragon fragments. Now the upcoming day started with yet another dragon, and once again it was the old dragon. However, this time I realized that we could just get a few shots on the dragon and grind out summoning eyes at the same time. We also managed to get a combat XP boost for our pet, so we dropped that on, and the next day yet another dragon was spawned, and once again it was the old dragon. Anyways, on day 230 we killed our very first endstone protector, which I was quite worried about dying to, but I kept my distance and we dealt a little over 73,000 damage, which of course meant that we didn't get any good loot. Now these dragon fights were at no sight of stopping, as on day 231 yet another dragon was spawned, and this time the dragon was a wise dragon, and we managed to deal a little over 110,000 damage and got some easy fragments. The zealot grind continued and we're getting a pretty good amount of summoning eyes in a pretty short time, and the same day another dragon was spawned, and now it was the strong dragon. The strategy of shooting the dragon few times and killing zealots at the same time worked out really well for us, as everyone is typically focused on the dragon, and me being able to do barely any damage, well, that was the way to go. Anyways, the next day our god potion had run out, and that meant it was time to get the next one. I went back to my island to discover that pretty much all our crops had regrown, so it was time to do a little bit of farming, and while farming, a contest was taking place and we managed to get a bronze medal out of it. For now we don't have a use for it, but later we can convert them into silver and then gold medals and then buy some tools for ourselves. But anyways, by day 234 we finished farming and it was time to head back to the end to get more summoning eyes, as we want to spawn our own dragons of course. The following day we finally managed to get ourselves the endstone bow, which I had actually been grinding out quite a bit. I was killing the obsidian defenders time to time, so maybe our summoning eyes rate was a little bit slower due to me trying to get the endstone bow. And well, this was perfect bow to deal more damage to dragons. So of course we headed back to our island and began enchanting it in case another dragon is spawned into our lobby. And would you look at that? Yet another dragon was spawned, and this time it was strong. Now unfortunately we didn't get that many hits on it and we only dealt like 65,000 damage. But anyways, now that we got the endstone bow, well of course we managed to get yet another one on day 237, because before we could literally not get that. But anyways, by 238 day, our Ringu had come to the hub and I went to check it out if we could buy yet another pet for ourselves. At this time we went for the tiger pet. Now unfortunately it was in the common tier, which was also kind of good because it was cheap, but later we can go ahead and upgrade it in the cat. I also realized it's time to get more obsidian for ourselves, and for that we need to craft yet another obsidian minion because we're still trying to get the tree capitator for ourselves. And while we're already on our island, we might as well do a little bit of more farming, and this time we're gonna be using the tiger pet for farming to get some easy level ups. In addition, we finally managed to get farming level up to 22 already, which is pretty nice. But anyways, the next day was yet another farming contest, and well, this time once again we got a bronze medal. We're pretty far away from silver, I guess, but the reason why, now as you can see, we're getting extremely close to getting it. And well, did we achieve it? Yes, we did. So there we go, another Jacob ticket and another medal. Once all of that was done, it was time to head back to the end and keep on going with the zealot grind. And of course another dragon was spawned, and I think this is the luckiest I have been in the end lobby in a long time, because we're getting dragons back to back. And well, this time the dragon was a protector, and after a few hits it was time to grind out some summoning eyes. And once again, this strategy is amazing. And anyways, by day 242 I started to think if we can find a way to finally one-shot zealots, as this would make the grind a lot easier. So firstly, we need to reforge all our talismans, and I was worried that this will get very expensive, but since they're not such a high tier talismans, it shouldn't look too bad for us. My budget was around 200,000 coins, and ideally to spend less is obviously better. Once we got the talismans reforged, we were only at 69,000 coins, meaning we spent pretty much 130,000. With the rest of the coins, I wanted to make sure that our armor is in fierce and the sword is in spicy reforge. This meant that we almost spent all of the coins that we had the budget for. Now, when I went back to the end, I saw yet another dragon had been spawned, but unfortunately it was too late for me to get a hit on it actually. But don't worry guys, because they spawned the next one, and it was a young dragon, and after that we got a strong dragon. I know, right? Just dragons, but I'm not complaining. Anyways, that's not all, because there was yet another dragon, and this time it was the unstable dragon. By day 246, it was time to go eat some cake because of the extra bonuses, but it was also time to take a little break from getting the summoning guys and do some farming. We did it till day 250, and by that time our silverfish had finished at the cat, which is our first legendary pet, and if we go back to mining, this will be perfect, or even just collecting the minions with this pet will be amazing. Of course, not to keep the cat empty, we dropped our tiger pet in there for 24 hours and headed back to our island, and of course, the time had come to upgrade some of our minions because we had gotten enough materials, and yes, we started doing some more farming as our farm had regrown. By day 252, we were back to farming zealots, and nothing really interesting happened for a few days, only that on day 257 we had to get another god potion. Other than that, we kept trying to get some more summoning guys. Now keep in mind, we were wanting to deal more damage, but not quite yet. Anyways, on day 259, I realized that maybe we should get some blaze rods to make enchanted Eye of the Ender, so we can actually have higher tier Enderman minions, as we're getting a ton of enchanted Ender pearls. The next day, a new mayor had been elected, which was Diana, and this meant it was time for us to take a little break from zealots and farming and grind out some mythological creatures instead. On day 262, I went ahead and got the Griffin upgrade stone so we can get higher tier creatures. We dropped that onto our pet, which was now an uncommon tier. We kept on going with the creatures for another 8 days, and then I realized maybe I should do something with our minions as they keep filling up. So we built our very first Cobblestone Generator, and it took us only a day to finish, and we also need to spend some coins to get the stone pickaxe so we can insta-break the cobblestone. Now this is fairly expensive, so I grabbed some loot from the chest and sold until we have 500,000 coins in total, and by the time that was all done, it was now day 272 and we were ready to put our Cobblestone Generator into use. The purpose of using it is so we can get ourselves enough enchanted cobble so we can make our first super compactor 3000. Now while we were doing that, we also got our sugarcane farming contest happening, so I quickly did that, got a bronze medal in that, and after that I grabbed the turbo books that we have gotten so far and converted them into higher tiers and dropped them onto our tools so we can actually get silver in the future. And then, well, we went back to getting more cobblestone, and by day 280, Mayor Derpy had come around, meaning that we could get more skill XP, and this meant that we got our mining level up, while collecting minions by the way, and we got it to mining level 24. Now, we stopped there with the cobblestone, and well, since it's only 20 days left until 300 days is at the end, I thought we should do finally our very own dragons. So I started grabbing my summoning guys, and well, we began spawning our very own dragons, and I did create a party for that, so we had people in the party that placed down some ice as well, so it made the spawning a little bit faster. So for the very first dragon of our very own, well, was unstable. Yeah, nice, good start. But we dealt only 122,000 damage, but through this fight, we actually ended up getting a travel scroll, which is very valuable, and well, we only got one fragment out of that as well. But anyways, the second dragon was yet another unstable, and we actually managed to get another traveling scroll, but since I have been editing this 300 days for like 2 months, I can't find the footage of me actually getting it, but we got it back to back. Now that would be really good if we weren't on Ironman, because it's valuable, but to have two of them, kind of pointless. Anyways, the third dragon was a young dragon, in which case we actually managed to deal about 158,000 damage, and well, we got 12 young fragments out of that, and unfortunately no armor piece, which is pretty painful, but we still have more dragons to go. So for the fourth dragon,
we got yet another dragon that was young. And well, this time we actually dealt a tiny bit more damage. This time it was 168,000 damage. And well, we managed to get our very first armor piece, which was the young dragon boots. I mean, our luck is outstanding, as you guys can tell. But anyways, the 5th dragon was the protector, to whom we dealt only 118,000 damage, and we only got 3 protector fragments. But this time I actually didn't place any of the eyes because I only had 1 left, and well, the party was like, don't do it. So anyways, we went back to killing zealots, but it got a lot harder because, well, they have double HP. So instead I went to do some more farming, and I feel like in the future we should start upgrading our farm so we can actually farm from the beginning to the end, and at the very end it will be all regrown. But that's gonna be for the future days. Anyways, by the end of farming, it was time to upgrade our farming minions to try to get yet another unique minions unlocked. We also went ahead and crafted another unique talisman, which was the Night Crystal, and I think as soon as we can get the Day Crystal items, well, we're gonna be good to go because we need a little bit more enchanted quartz. But anyways, once that was done, we went ahead and got ourselves some gravel so we can get the gravel collection. Now from this, I actually went ahead and crafted our first gravel minion, placed it down, for which later we're gonna actually need to put a flint shovel upgrade in there so it doesn't get all the time filled up. But anyways, once that was completed, we were ready to actually get the next minion slot. So we went ahead and upgraded our coal minion, and boom. After that, I decided to do some sand mining for the collection as well, and rabbits and ships while we're already on the island, because we haven't really grinded them out. And after getting enough rabbits, we actually got the rabbit pet collection unlocked, so we can actually craft the rabbit pet soon. But anyways, before we actually craft that, I went ahead and actually made a rabbit minion. But we had leftover rabbits to actually, after all, make the pet, which was amazing. So we did that. And well, which tier did we actually get it in? And well, we got it as common, as our luck is literally outstanding on the Ironman profile. But anyways, to increase our damage, the next smartest thing to do would be to collect all our fairy souls, because I have actually collected them in the past episodes, but we haven't collected that many. But this time, we're gonna be actually using Not Enough Updates mod, which is literally gonna show us all the waypoints to the fairy souls. It's gonna make everything so much easier. Now, we do also have a grappling hook and aspect of the end, which is gonna make it a lot easier and accessible to get all the fairy souls, because before didn't have it and it was pretty hard. But anyways, by day 287, we had already collected 58 fairy souls, which we went ahead and exchanged. So let's see how much more damage can we deal. So now we're dealing close to 6,000 damage, which is still pretty far from us one-shotting zealots. But let's keep in mind that in the end, we can actually deal more damage with our end set and the aspect of the end. Now towards the end of the day, I actually had to get yet another god potion. And then I knew that we should try to collect more fairy souls because, well, fairy souls are pretty OP and it would be pretty bad of us not to actually collect them. So we went ahead, tried to get some, and we exchanged another 4 times of fairy souls. So after we finished that, we went ahead, did a little bit of farming, and we managed to get our rabbit pet to level 41 already, which is pretty insane to see how fast it levels up, because before we didn't use any farming pets. So obviously the levels came in a little bit slower, but with the farming pet, well, it's OP. But anyways, by day 290, we got our tiger pet upgraded to epic and dropped the rabbit pet in there because, well, rabbit pet gives you extra farming XP. After that, we decided to also do a little bit of alchemy, and this is the first time of me doing it actually, so we're here 290 days later, just now starting it. It is what it is. But anyways, the potions that we were making were speed 5, and well, how much XP did we get? Well, in no time we got level 15 already, but we didn't stop there because we ended up putting a little bit more in there and we got it to level 20. And while we were doing the alchemy, of course, we had the tiger pet equipped, which got over level 50. Anyways, once that was done, I had to get quickly some more medium storage chests for some of our minions, as they didn't have a chest next to them. Now this is super crucial because the minions get full really quickly, especially if they're nowhere close to tier 11. So we went ahead and placed them down. But anyways, on day 291, I thought to mine a little bit more cobblestone, but not for long. We're gonna leave it for the next days because, well, obviously we need super compactors one day here. So I did it about 3 days in total to realize that our pet had already finished that cat. So we picked it up and dropped it back in there. And I wanted to actually find out how much damage we're dealing to the zealots at the moment. And well, as it turns out, we're actually dealing close to 10,000 damage, which is getting pretty close to actually one-shotting them. So I ended up actually getting a little bit more fairy souls, but well, it got a little bit difficult. So we started at Spider's Den and got a few in the end lobby as well. But by day 296, we had collected only about 32 fairy souls extra, which of course we went ahead and exchanged, and we got a little bit more than 200 damage out of that. Now we went ahead and kept on grinding zealots for summoning guys, and by day 298 another dragon was spawned, which was unfortunately the unstable dragon. And the next day yet another unstable dragon was spawned, and we ended up getting our next dragon bestiary. And before the day came to an end, a young dragon was spawned. As I mentioned, we're getting pretty lucky with the end lobbies, so hopefully this keeps happening in the future days as well, if we're gonna be in the end. But anyways, for the last day, I thought we should use up all our summoning guys that we had left over, so I placed 3 eyes and spawned in another young dragon, which is definitely a pretty good one to get, especially that we have already young dragon boots. But anyways, we did about 168,000 damage, through which we actually managed to secure yet another armor piece. And luckily it wasn't boots this time, well, it was leggings. So there we go, 2 pieces of dragon armor by the end of 300 days. A little bit painful, but it is what it is. But how many fragments did we get in total? Well, here it is. As you guys can see, it's not the best, but it's also not the worst, because, well, that would mean that in the next days of survival, we could probably get ourselves full young dragon set, which is gonna be pretty amazing. But I know that this video has taken me a while to get out, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It has taken forever to edit and record, but if you could take a moment to drop a like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me.